Hi guys, okay, so what I've got for this week is a creme brulee recipe. Now, I had someone that asked me for this recipe, so I hope it helps him. It turned out fantastic. You don't need to have a blowtorch to get the crispy top. I did it under my grill and it turned out fine, so hope you enjoy it. It's really actually quite simple. It surprised me how easy it was, so I hope you guys enjoy it also.
So the first step is to prepare our vanilla bean. Now, if you don't have vanilla bean, that's fine. Just use vanilla essence, so you can skip the step. But if you do have vanilla bean, cut it down lengthways and just scrape out the seeds like I'm doing here, and then just put them aside so we can put it into our custard later. Sweet, now we're going to start on the custard itself. So just grab a large saucepan, stick it on a medium to high heat, and we're just going to throw in our cream. So I've got 500 milliliters of cream. And now we can add in our vanilla bean that we've scraped out of the pod, and just give it a nice whisk around so the vanilla bean distributes evenly throughout the cream. We're just going to let this heat until just before it boils. So if you start seeing little bubbles, take it off the heat and that's perfect. But in the meantime, what we're going to do, we're going to grab a small bowl, and into the bowl we're going to stick in 5 egg yolks, followed by 80 grams of white sugar or caster sugar, and all we're going to do is grab an egg beater and just, or you can use a hand mixer, and we're just going to mix this until it turns into a nice sort of pale yellow colour, as you can see here. Once at this stage, our cream will hopefully be ready. So all we're going to do is very slowly add the cream while mixing with either an electric mixer or a manual mixer like I'm using, until all our cream is incorporated. Now, you don't want to make too many bubbles, so just try to keep a nice sort of slow mix or a folding through our cream and our egg. We want the least amount of foam possible. The final step before we pour our custard into the ramekins is just to put it through a sieve. This will take out any of your lumps, your egg lumps. You could have egg lumps in there. Put it through a sieve, put it into a jug, preferably so it's nice and easy to pour into our ramekins later. So now we're going to stick our ramekins in a roasting pan, and all we're going to do is just pour our cream mixture into these ramekins. I've got 6 ramekins. This recipe should make 6 decent sized ramekins. Don't fill them all the way up, fill them roughly around sort of 2/3, 3/4 of the way full. Make sure you try to scrape off any of the foam on top of it. The foam will just prevent it getting a nice even surface when we cook it. Once we've poured all our cream into the ramekins, we're going to get hot water from the kettle, and all we're going to do is fill our roasting pan up until it's around 2/3 of the way up the ramekin, and now we can stick it into the oven. We're going to set our oven to 168 degrees Celsius on bake, and just before we stick it into the oven, we're just going to cover our roasting pan with some aluminium foil. This will prevent our creme brulees from actually cooking on the top. We don't want it to go crisp just yet. So these are going to be in the oven for around 35 to 40 minutes. Now, we want to check around this time by simply giving our ramekin a little bit of a jiggle. It should resemble jelly, not anything that's too runny, otherwise put it back in the oven for about 5 more minutes. As you can see here, the center wobbles just like jello, and it's perfect. So we can take this out of the water and let them cool to room temperature. Once they're cooled down to room temperature, we're going to stick them in the fridge, and we need to make sure they're completely cold. So roughly around 2 hours are minimum. These can last in the fridge for up to 2 days. So once they're really cold, we're going to whip them out. We're going to stick 2 teaspoons of caster sugar across the top. Make sure it's nice and even distribution. Tap the ramekin, give it a move around until we get a nice even distribution. So this will mean our crust for our creme brulee, our burnt cream, will be nice and uniform. And all we're going to do, like I mentioned before, is we don't need a blowtorch. We can put it into the oven. It's not going to get the best results like you would with a blowtorch, but an oven at a very hot setting, put it on grill, top of the shelf, and let it cook until your sugar has caramelized. Whack it back out of the oven and let it cool until the top goes nice and hard. Now, you might want to, if you're using the grill, stick it back in the fridge just to make sure the custard's cool when you eat it. There you go, creme brulee done and dusted. you should be aiming for this perfect crack and a nice smooth custardy mixture like I'm going to show you right now. It's got a nice crack and inside is a nice smooth custard, and it tastes absolutely divine. So I hope you guys found this informative. I wish you guys all a Merry Christmas and safe holidays, and I'll see you in the new year. So keep safe and enjoy your festive season.